What is your favorite non-US airport? Hi, I'm Morgan, and this is an airport discussion. Because this is a subjective post, I would like to start with a warning that this is fully opinionated and only based on the airports that I have been to outside of the US, but I would like to hear what your favorites are as well. For reference, these are all of the airports outside of the US that I have been to, so there's a ton of spots that I am missing and maybe should put on my list to make sure that I visit. I've also been to 3 airports but not gotten off of the plane, and those were Zanzibar, Tabora, and Dublin, and of those, my favorite to look out the window at was Dublin. Starting off strong, Dubai. The reason Dubai makes my list of favorite airports outside of the US is because everything is shiny, everything is clean, everyone is friendly, and it is a silent airport, which I didn't know made such a difference, but not hearing a single announcement, every single time a plane is boarding really makes a difference in your experience. There's also a ton of things to look at and buy in the Dubai airport. Another favorite was Paris, and the reason that Paris was one of my favorite airports outside of the US is because they had an outdoor area. It was like a patio that you could go on to, and there were plants, and it was outside, and it makes such a big difference when you are traveling and you are stuck in an airport just to be able to step outside and get a little bit of fresh air. Another favorite is Dar es Salaam. Although maybe Dar es Salaam isn't necessarily one of my favorite cities, this one is food-based. So there is, because I think they've done some updating to the airport, so it may have to fall off of my list. There was a really small coffee cafe shop that had really good samosas and coffee, and that really made my experience fun. And here's the plane that I got on once outside of that little cafe. My final on the list for favorites is Reykjavik, and this is a picture that I took out of the window either coming into or going out of Reykjavik. The reasons that I liked Reykjavik was that it was aesthetically pleasant. There were really kind of funky art things here and there. It was pretty clean, and it seemed pretty straightforward and organized. And so it was one of those airports where it was kind of difficult for you to get lost and not know where you were supposed to go, which is always good when you're in an airport in an international destination where even if everybody in Iceland does speak English, the language in Iceland is Icelandic. So it's still good to be able to fully understand everything around you and what you're supposed to be doing. My personal list of places that I really want to go to, visit, or see is pretty long. So if there is an airport outside of the US that stands out to you, let me know what it is and why. And hopefully I can make sure that even if I'm not going to that destination, I can at least try to have a long enough layover to enjoy the airport. Also, if you dislike any of the airports that I mentioned in this post, let me know why.